Hello everyone! I wanted to film a quick intro for this video. Basically, I just have some things that I wanted to talk to you all about, some things that I've been going through recently. I also wanted to put a trigger warning here for mental illness and pregnancy. This video is not a tutorial. I'm just updating you on my life and talking a little bit about the past and the future. And I just wanted to do some makeup while I was doing it because I didn't want to just be sitting here like staring at the camera. I wanted to kind of be doing something while I was talking, but I don't know if that made it harder or easier. I feel like this video is going to be all over the place. Like, I really wanted to kind of just give an overview of the stuff I've been dealing with and the things that I wanted to communicate to you all. I just needed to get all this out there, and I'm hoping that uploading it will be the beginning of a fresh start and a better future and a better life for myself. So thank you for watching, and yeah. Ugh, like, why does my face have to look like that? For real. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm just gonna get started on my makeup and get started talking to you. So basically, the main reason I've been, not completely present and kind of like on and off with my social media presence and everything is because of mental illness. I struggle with depression and anxiety, and more specifically, I have pretty bad OCD. My OCD has been a huge struggle for me, specifically with my work on social media. So one of the main ways that my OCD manifests is through compulsive skin picking, which is called like dermatillomania, or I also believe there's another name for it, excoriation disorder, I believe. But I've been struggling with this since I was like 10, 11, around that age. So it's been something that I've struggled with, for a long time, and it's something that has affected my life in so many ways. It's usually not something I really talk about unless it's with someone that I'm extremely comfortable with. So basically, the more anxious I am, the more like I pick at my skin, and it makes it especially hard to sit in front of a mirror. It's basically impossible for me to sit in front of a mirror without like picking with my skin in some way. So it has really like stopped me from filming so many times. Like, I mean, it's like a constant cycle of me saying like, oh, I'll film when my skin gets better, and then I sit down to film and I like mess up my skin more. So that is like probably one of the huge main reasons that I have been so absent. Like, I tend to kind of like lock myself in my room and just like feel awful about myself. The condition of my skin even like goes beyond affecting like my filming, because it just has a huge impact on my self-esteem and my self-confidence. Basically, I have like no self-esteem, and yeah. Basically, I have no self-esteem, and that's it. It's not like easy to sit in a room alone and talk about how much I like don't like myself and how hard it's been for me the past few years. For a while, it's really hard for me to like look at my face. So like editing videos of my face, I would dread that, and just my entire like not having the self-confidence to like take full face like pictures of myself and post them onto Instagram, and like constantly feeling like I'm not good enough and not pretty enough has been another like huge obstacle for me. With being on social media, obviously, because you compare yourself. That's been like a huge thing, like my lack of confidence, and that mixed with my OCD, I feel like my OCD like intensifies everything, because it's like every thought I have, it's like it doesn't go away. Like, it's like drilling into my brain, and that's just something I have been struggling with and have been working on. There have been a few specific events that have affected my motivation and my self-esteem and kind of caused like, little like mental breakdowns. I'm sure a few of you might even remember seeing something about this on Instagram if you've been following me for a few years, I guess. So in October of 2017, I basically like experienced the most growth that I ever have. I was like, my Halloween looks were popping off. It felt good. But I was internally like freaking out a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't keep this up. Like it just, for some reason, it just completely terrified me. So around the end of October, when I was like winding down for the month, I came across a thread on 9gag, which is like an internet forum, basically. And it was a repost of my most popular video that year, which was my mermaid skull, and it was brutal. There were a few comments about how the art was bad or how they thought that, it was a stupid like makeup look or it wasn't well done, whatever. But the main comments were about how I look like a man, which that was not okay. I feel like I have somewhat like unique facial features, and I have like a very like pronounced nose and like a strong like chin or whatever. So it is like something that people would say to me at school, or like people bullied me about when I was younger. So I don't know, like it really like hit me, and it was not the right time for that to happen and for me to feel those feelings, because I basically could not handle it. I was crying for days. I mean, I cry for days all the time, but I was really, really down, and I just kept thinking like, just having the worst thoughts about myself. How can I ever like be on social media if my face is repulsive and disgusting? Like I was just like, why am I doing this? It is worth mentioning that the previous year, the end of 2016 into the beginning of 2017, there were some things that were going on that did also cause me to have a pretty bad like downward spiral, and my mental health was just not good. So I ended up taking a leave of absence from school. So I took the year of 2017 and 2018, like I took those 2 semesters off from school. So that's why I was able to like recuperate and film so many videos that Halloween, and I was really just like making my comeback around Halloween and stuff. Like that really was like my comeback from a pretty hard year that I had previously. And then the mean comments of saying like I looked like a man, it just like shot me right down. Like it was just like a trigger into a really dark place. It was since then that I have been struggling. Like I gained all those followers. I hit 500k, and then I quickly hit 600k. And then I did grow the following year a little bit around Halloween, but since then my followers have been in like a constant decline. Obviously followers aren't everything, but it's just kind of like an indicator of how inconsistent I've been the past few years, because I haven't grown in like that long amount of time. So basically 2018, I was kind of just getting back into like the groove of going to school. Since I was going into my junior year, my course load was a little bit heavier than it had been, my first 2 years of college. So it was harder for me to handle going to school and doing social media. And I was just trying to figure out a way that I could make it work for myself. Unfortunately, in the beginning of 2019, in January of 2019, one of my best friends, Angela, passed away unexpectedly, and my mental health was just not in a good place after my friend died. I kind of like had a little bit of like a existential type crisis where it's like, what's the point of life? I felt like I needed all of my energy to just get my schoolwork done, and it was really, really hard for me to gather the energy to do anything else. So I definitely did back away a lot from social media, but of course throughout that time I was still trying to like do content when I could, but it honestly became way more of a chore and something that just gave me so much anxiety. It kind of stopped being like, a happy place for me and started being more of like anxiety. So I feel like I just gave you a really, really vague overview of the past few years of my life, but there's a lot of topics that like I really want to talk about more in the future. Mental health issues, I think, are extremely, extremely important to talk about, and it's something that I definitely want to talk about more. So what pushed me over the edge to film this video is that 2020 was insane for everyone. I've just been through a lot of life stuff in the past couple months, and I just could not like move past it without putting it all out there in the open. I couldn't just go back to doing what I was doing and struggling through making content and trying to hide the negative things and push it under the rug. I graduated in May of 2020. It felt great to finally be done with school, and I felt like I could like focus on making content and doing makeup and being artistic, and like in a way I was like free. So after I graduated, I was still trying to just kind of stabilize my mental health and cope with the pandemic and quarantine. And honestly, me and Alvin got a lot closer during this time. Our relationship definitely grew, and I'm really, really, really thankful for that. And then towards the end of summer, Alvin proposed, so we got engaged back in August, and it was really, really nice, and happy time. And at this point, I was just still trying to kind of get a handle on filming, and I did a few Halloween looks. So me and Alvin actually contracted COVID around the end of November. So we started feeling really sick right in the beginning of December, and it was a really rough sickness. A lot of people don't survive COVID, so I'm very thankful that we had mild enough cases where our condition was not life-threatening, but we were basically just in bed for 2 weeks straight. We didn't have the energy to do anything. We were nervous about getting back to our normal lives because we honestly both felt like this sense of hopelessness. It was really awful. So around the time we got sick with COVID, I was supposed to have my period, and I assumed that it was late because I was so sick. So once we finally were like recovering from the COVID and feeling a little bit better, we found out that I was pregnant, and it was a pretty big shock, I would say. We weren't trying, but both of us do really want kids. So we were really excited and happy. Obviously, this is not easy to talk about when I'm just sitting here looking at myself alone. After having COVID, it was just so hard to we were both really depressed. And this news of having a baby seemed like hope. It seemed like hope for the future. It seemed like it was happy. We were happy about it. We ended up telling our parents on Christmas. For a Christmas present, we wrapped up little onesies, and it was It was nice, and it, like, everyone was really, really happy. So we also decided right away that we would get married. We were planning on waiting until, like, after the pandemic so that we could have, like, an actual wedding, but we had discussed, getting legally married before that so that we could just, be legally married. But when we found out that I was pregnant, we thought that we should just do it ASAP. So we booked the Justice of the Peace to do the little wedding thing at the town hall. So we booked that for the 28th of January, which was a few days ago, last week. So everything was okay. I just felt like really sick. I was pretty much constantly nauseous, and I was really tired, and I was just not feeling great. And I was happy about having a baby, but I had like this feeling that something like was wrong. Like I felt like it wasn't real, and I didn't feel like I was gonna have a baby. And I was really, really eager for my first ultrasound appointment. I think I texted one of my friends about it. I was like telling her how I felt like it wasn't real, and I was really hoping that like my motivation to work and like my motivation to prepare things and like, be a functioning adult would, come after the ultrasound appointment. I felt like if I saw, the little fetus on the ultrasound and like it confirmed that I was going to have a baby, like I would feel like I would know it was real. So basically I went to my ultrasound. I was really nervous. I was supposed to be 11 to 12 weeks, but when they did the ultrasound, basically they found out that I was only measuring it like about 6 weeks or something. So the doctor came and told me that it was most likely a miscarriage and that it was not a viable pregnancy. And she told me that they would schedule follow-up the next week just to make sure, and then talk about like next steps if I would need like a D&C or something. And I was really upset. Like I was crying, and I just couldn't stop crying. Like I was just crying for a few days. So I came out of the appointment and I told Alvin, and he was very supportive. It was really stressful because we had told a lot of people about the pregnancy. We had, told our parents and a lot of our friends and stuff, and it was really hard. It was really hard. I ended up actually miscarrying naturally the following weekend after that appointment, and it was extremely painful and extremely like physically draining and terrifying and emotional, of course. This was 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to continue to heal and recover because my life like cannot go on the way that it was going before. Like I need to find a way to make life work for me. Alvin and I still went through with the wedding, so we got married on the 28th, and it was really hard for me to like focus on the wedding. Not that we were having a big wedding, we were just going to City Hall and having like our parents stand around with masks and stuff. So it wasn't like a huge like stuff to plan and everything, but it was like hard for me to focus on. But I'm happy that we're married. I'm just still like struggling a little bit with the loss. It has not been easy for me to deal with. I'm a very emotional person, but I feel like I've backed away and kind of not really wanted to talk about it with anyone. I feel like I'm traumatized from the physical experience, and I've just been like emotionally like not completely right afterwards, and I'm hanging on there by a thread. No, I'm okay. Alvin has been extremely supportive, and like it's not like I'm over here like alone. So basically I wanted to make this video to kind of let you guys know like what's been going on with me, Graduated, got engaged, got COVID, got pregnant, had a miscarriage, got married. All the stuff that has happened, it's just kind of brought me to like this point that I'm at now, which isn't necessarily like a breaking point, but it's just like something has to change, you know? So even though the past few years, though I've been struggling, I keep telling myself like there's no way you can just give up. You can't just let go of everything that you've worked for. You can't just, stop. You can't just abandon what you've been working towards, especially if you haven't, tried your absolute hardest. I feel like in a way I have been giving up because I've just been avoiding social media at all. Like I don't go on social media really, like Instagram and stuff, and I just kind of avoid it altogether. I obviously can't do this as a job if that's how it's going to be. So I have been working really hard to change it. I just need to focus on getting up every day and getting out of bed and trying to do the things I want to do and just actually trying and actually doing it. And I think that's like the first step to, me healing and getting to a more stable place in my life. Now that I have to like put it into words, it's like, well, why did I make this video? I had to make this video. I just want to create art and express myself and like find that piece of myself that like creating makes me happy again. I can't change who I am, but I can change my behavior and I can work towards my goals, and that's what I plan on doing. So I just put on some lashes. I think I'm going to do my hair and lips a little bit later so that I can maybe get a good picture for Instagram. Honestly, I feel like I did a lot of like incoherent rambling while I was trying to film this video. I basically just wanted to sit down and film without thinking too much about it and just kind of get out the words that I needed to get out, and I don't even know if I have yet, but I really just needed to tell you what's been going on with me. I just wanted to assure you all that I am okay and I'm doing better, and I still have a lot of plans for things that I want to do in the future, especially with my YouTube. I really do want to start focusing on like sitting down and filming for YouTube. I'm just right now kind of trying to get back into a workflow, but I am trying really hard to just kind of put all of my insecurities and hesitations behind me along with the rest of the past that I dwell on, and everything that's happened has just pushed me to this point where I need to start making changes in my life for the better. These beautiful colors that I used for this eye look are actually inspired by the gorgeous bouquet that my dad got me for my wedding last week. So I'm just trying to focus on the good things, and that's what I want to do from here on out, and I really just want to make a lot of positive changes in my life. I've been kind of stuck for a really long time, and I'm ready to be unstuck. Like now is my time, and I have a lot of things to do, a lot of things that I want to do, and I just wanted to let you all know. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.